All right, now in this last video, I just want you to notice a couple of things, okay? I want you to deal with Z and Z conjugate, okay? It's important that we recognize very early on that anytime I have a complex number, I can rewrite it as A plus BI, okay? Now, if the conjugate is A plus BI, or sorry, if the original is A plus BI, the conjugate is always A minus BI. Okay, now what I would like for you to do is I would like for you to just kind of work out on your own Z plus its conjugate. I would like for you to work out Z minus its conjugate. Work out Z times its conjugate. And then, of course, Z divided by its conjugate. All right, so I am going to put all the work down. I'm not going to talk through it because I think at this point you're comfortable enough with complex numbers you could do that. I just want you to kind of see what happens when we add and multiply things by their conjugates. Okay, so go ahead, pause the video in just a second, all the answers will magically appear. Ta-da! All done. Now, I just wanted you to see a couple of things. Note that when we add conjugates, the imaginary part goes away. So that's one way to get rid of an imaginary part is by adding its conjugate. Okay, note that when we multiply them over here, the imaginary part also goes away. Okay, and you'll notice in a second that that's what I do on the division to get rid of the imaginary on the bottom. But note that it also gives me the sum of squares. So if you ever need to solve the sum of squares, we know that it's going to just turn into A plus BI, A minus BI. And that should look somewhat familiar because it's kind of like the difference of squares where we did A squared minus B squared. Okay, and then here when you subtract, then it ends up canceling the real parts and you're left with just the imaginary part. All right, and then here in the end, we've got division. Now with the division, there's not a whole lot you can do, but we really don't like to have imaginary in both the top and the bottom. We don't like to have it in the numerator and the denominator. So what we do is we simplify it as best we can by multiplying by the conjugate. And when we multiply by the conjugate, then we end up with this, and that's kind of what we finish up with. Yes, it still has real, it still has imaginary, but at least now the imaginary is only in one place. All right, that's it for today, and I hope that that's helpful.